So if you guys can just take a second to grab some props, because we're gonna do some nice restorative poses at the end. So I recommend just some pillows. Mostly pillows would be great. Like even a couch cushion or something a bit more sturdy. Yeah. Slumber party time. Awesome. And once you have all your props, let's just start in a seat on the mat. And I'm gonna sit on my pillow because it's just more comfy that way for me. And let's bring the hands to the knees, close down the eyes. Get in a really comfortable seated position. So notice your hips, how the sits bones feel grounded into the earth. Let your spine get a little bit taller. And bring in awareness of the breath. Inhales and exhales, super deep into the belly, through the chest, through the throat, through the nose. And just keep breathing here. And know that you have landed in this class for a reason. I know sometimes when I end up in slower classes, I can be annoyed because I want to get a workout, but for whatever reason, you made it here today and this is where you're supposed to be. And it is the universe looking out for you, helping you to slow down a bit. And let's get quiet for about 10 more breaths. Really noticing where you feel the breath in the body and any other sensations that are happening. The sounds around you. Temperature. Let's take 2 more breaths here, and on your exhale, sigh it out the mouth. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, just let it go. And one more, inhale. Exhale. Awesome. And we're going to begin our first position in a reclined bound angle pose. So I really like to do this with a pillow underneath me, but if you don't have a pillow handy, that's totally fine. And we're just gonna bring the feet together, bring the pillow right underneath the back, and lay back, kind of allowing that chest to open up. And you can also place pillows underneath the knees here if that feels a bit difficult on your inner groin. And just breathe deep here. Leaving any stress that you had before this class behind you, letting it melt off. 5 more deep breaths in this pose. Good, and let's really slowly roll off of your pillow onto your side and press yourself up into a deer pose. So you have your right shin parallel to your mat and your left shin perpendicular. And you can keep your pillow where it is if you want, or you can remove it. And we're just gonna turn back towards that pillow, so towards the right leg, and lay down onto the pillow. If you don't have a pillow, you can also just lay onto the forearms like this. Or if you have the flexibility, you can even go all the way down to the ground. But wherever you are, let your body fully relax. So just release your head. And this is a mild twist here, so whenever we have twists, we want to make sure that breath is going deep into the belly area, stimulating the digestive system. Two more breaths. And let's walk the hands up, and we're gonna press into a gate pose. So just plant that right hand down onto the mat, press your hips up, and extend your left leg straight and your left arm overhead. Yeah, totally. And if you want to get a side body stretch too, you can bring your ear close to your ear. Really just press the hips forward, press the chest open. And let's take a couple arm circles. So circle the arm overhead, circle it back towards the left leg, open up that shoulder, and reverse it. Good. And you can sit your bum down. And before we switch to the other side, we'll take one more stretch here. So just face right between the legs. The sole of the right foot can be touching the inside of the left leg. And just round forward. If you want also, you can bring your pillow back and relax onto the pillow. Or you can just let yourself hang forward. But we're doing more restorative poses, which means that the muscles are going to be less active, and sometimes that can actually let us stretch a bit deeper. One more breath. And slowly roll up. And let's just switch to the other side. So going back to our deer pose. Left leg is parallel to the front of the mat. And right leg is perpendicular at a 90-degree angle approximately. And then just place that pillow at your hip, twist to the left, and drop your belly forward. If you can remember which cheek you placed down on the last side, just try to replace the other cheek. so we get even on both sides. Notice what the hands are doing. I just noticed mine were like curled up, so I flattened them onto the ground. Get a little bit more intention there. With every exhale, just feel yourself relax a little bit deeper. And let's walk those hands up. Coming into our gate pose on this side. So plant the left hand down onto the earth, lift up the hips, straighten that right leg, and arm can come overhead. Pressing the hips forward. And if you did it on the other side, get that nice stretch in the side body. Pressing the chest open towards the side wall. And notice if your head is dropping down, we want to keep it sort of in alignment with the rest of the spine. Drop the shoulder away from the ear, bring energy into the hands. And let's take those arm circles, a couple in one direction, and then a couple in the other direction. Good. And come back to seated. We'll take our Janu Sirsasana B on this side, so facing the middle of the legs, curling over a pillow or just hanging down. Notice if it feels different on this side. Mine definitely does. And let the breath be the main focal point of your practice. And slowly roll up. You can put the pillow out of the way for a little while. And just plant the hands over to your left side. Flip the body over into your plank position. And press back into down dog. We'll stay here for nice 5 breaths. And as always, we're always growing in down dog. It's never a perfect down dog. So check your alignment, widen your fingers on the mat, press the knuckles and the fingertips into the mat, press the heels back. But if you need to bend the knees to keep a straight spine, that's totally cool. And drop the head. Eyes of the elbows are wanting to face forward. Shoulders are widening and dropping lower down the spine towards the hips. Hips are elevating up towards the sky. Chest is pressing back towards the thighs. One more breath. Good. And lift up the heels here so you're on your tippy toes. Bend in the knees. Drop the knees and come to your child's pose, and we're just going to stay here for a moment. And then I want you to pull yourself into a sphinx, so you can lay your forearms on the ground and sort of snake the body through into a sphinx pose, which is similar to cobra, just you have your forearms on the ground. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Make sure the abdominals are engaged here to protect the low back. The tailbone wants to lengthen towards the heels. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Good. And let's reverse that. So we're scooping the tailbone up, pressing back. Maybe you have to take a couple of walks back with the hands and go back to your child's pose. So let's take that one more time. Scoop the head through, coming into our Sphinx. And go ahead and straighten the elbows here so you can walk the hands a bit forward. This is called seal pose. It's just a little bit of a deeper version of Sphinx. Try to get your pinky toes to touch the earth. Feet are about hips width apart. Engage the core. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe tilt the head from side to side to get a nice neck stretch. And then drop back down to the forearms in Sphinx. Tuck your toes and press into dolphin. So it's like a down dog, except your forearms are on the ground. We'll hold this for a few breaths. Try to keep a lot of space in the neck area. It's easy to get a bit crunchy here. And as promised, this is a flow and restore class, so there will be a little bit of working out. And you can lift up the toes here on the right side for a leg lift, and then bring the knee in towards the nose, coming into a forearm plank with one leg. Lift the right leg back up into the sky, and then drop those toes to the ground. And we'll take it on the other side. So lift the left leg into the air. Bring the left knee to nose. Left leg in the air. And release the left leg down. So let's repeat that a few times. Right leg up. Right knee to nose. Right leg up. Right leg down. Left leg up. Left knee to nose. Left leg up, left leg down. One more time on each side. Right leg up, knee to nose, up, down. Left leg up, knee to nose, up, down, and drop those hips to the ground. One more time in our Sphinx pose. Open up the heart, give the shoulders a rest. Good. And let's plant the hands around the shoulder area. Tuck the toes and press up through tabletop or plank. And then press back to down dog. 5 breaths here. And let's lift the right leg into the sky, bend at the knee, stack the hip. Shoulders are wanting to square back towards the mat. Hip is opening up. And then bring that leg through between the hands. So we're in our low lunge position. And let's take our blocks, if you guys have them, or pillows, just something to elevate the hands a bit if you need it. And walk that right leg out towards the side. And the left knee can walk back a little bit. So you can keep your blocks here if this is enough of a hip stretch for you. This is called lizard pose, or if you want to go deeper, you don't need the blocks or pillows. You can even come down all the way to the forearms. I'm going to stay right here in the middle. You can also let the inside of the right foot sort of peel off the ground. If that feels good, you can use the right hand to press or twist open that right thigh. And if you do that, just stabilize in the left shoulder and drop the right shoulder away from the ear. Nice adjustments. Engage the abdominals. And option to take it one step farther. Maybe you want to take a fold under your mat for more support in the knee. And you can reach back and try to grab your left foot. Even if it doesn't reach, you can just elevate the foot off the ground a little bit and get a nice quad stretch. My quads are pretty tight, so I usually can't reach it without a strap. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths and try to maintain some stillness. Good. Come back to center. And let's just straighten that right leg, coming into a hamstring stretch on the right side. And feel free to just round the spine forward here. No need to keep a straight spine. Really breathe into the back muscles, the erector spinae muscles surrounding the spine. Notice if your head can get even heavier. Good. And slowly come up, bending back into the right leg. You can plant the hands around the foot, tuck the left toes, step the right foot back into your plank. If you'd like to take a chaturanga here, you are welcome. Otherwise, we will meet in down dog. 2 deep breaths here. And lift your left leg up into the sky. Stack the hips, bending at the knee. Really press the chest back towards the thigh. And then bring that leg through, coming into your lizard on this side, so both arms are on the inside of the left leg. Find a comfy position. Before we move into the optional advances from here, just feel out this foundational position. Maybe rock a little back and forth. And if you did it on the other side, you can let that left leg or left foot peel off the floor a little bit. Use the left hand to rotate the thigh. And if you want to reach back for that right leg, you can do that. Just remembering to stabilize in the shoulder. Notice again if your head is wanting to drop off towards the floor, try to keep it straight. One more breath. And bring that left hand forward if you're reaching back. And straighten that front leg, folding over the left leg for a hamstring stretch, letting the head drop. 2 more breaths. Great job, everyone. And you can bend back into that front leg. Plant the hands around the foot, tuck the right toes, step the left foot back, and optional chaturanga. Lowering down, pulling through up dog on an inhale, and pressing back to down dog on exhale. 2 breaths here. And let's lift that right leg up into the air again. Stack the hips by bending the knee. Take a couple of hip circles here, so just drawing circles with the knees. Couple in one direction, couple in the other direction. And then bring that knee to nose, but don't lower the foot yet. Press the right leg back up into the sky. Bring the knee to nose one more time. And then go ahead and drop your right knee at your right wrist. Coming into a pigeon. So my favorite variation of pigeon is a super supported one. So I put a block under my right bum, and I take my pillow and I tuck it right under my belly button and just lay forward. You can use as many pillows as you want here, depending on how far down you can go. You can even take a block, place it under the pillow, whatever's good for your range of flexibility. Once you find a spot, notice which cheek is resting down. And let's take 10 deep breaths. Slowly begin to press yourself up. Walk the hands back. And before you come out of it, let's just take a little heart opener here. So look up towards the ceiling, keeping the neck long, engaging the core. Press the shoulder blades together at the back. Maybe take a couple of neck tilts, stretching out the sides of the neck. Good. And then let's walk those hands back down, coming into your forearm plank by tucking the left toes and pressing the right toes back as well. And then I want you to press back into your dolphin again. Stabilize in the shoulders here, creating space in the neck. And let's do the little exercise that we did before. So lift the right leg up into the sky. Right knee to nose. Right knee to sky. And release. Left leg to the sky. Left knee to nose. Left leg to the sky. Release. One more time. Right leg up. nose, up, down, left, nose, left, down. And from here, let's get to down dog. So you can press up one arm at a time or use your strength to press up with both arms. And let's lift up the left leg into the sky, stack the hips, take a couple of hip circles in either direction. And then bring that left knee through, set it down by the left wrist. Make your way into pigeon on the left side. So take a few breaths just to get comfy, using your props. And just settle down into the pose on this side. Make sure you're facing your head in the opposite direction that you did last time. And trying to breathe in and out through the nose. One more super deep breath. And really gently walk yourself up. You can remove your props and take that heart opener on this side, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, looking up towards the sky. Maybe a couple of neck stretches. Good. And plant the forearms down. Tuck your toes, come into your forearm plank. Take one breath here. And then press the hips back into your dolphin pose. One breath here. And press back into your down dog. And let's drop down to the knees for a moment. I want to do a supported down dog. So take your pillow, or pillow friends, plant the hands around the pillow, tuck the toes like you're gonna come into a regular down dog, and just use the pillow to rest the head. Really let it take some of the weight. Only using the muscles that are absolutely necessary for this posture. One more really deep breath. Good. Let's drop the knees wide on the mat, touching the toes together. And we'll sit back into supported child's pose. So just bring that pillow between the legs and release yourself forward, resting one cheek down onto the side. And And let yourself 100% relax. There's nothing that needs to be done here or muscled through. And lift up your head and just switch sides. So your head is now facing the other direction. Good, and let's walk the hands up from here. And just swing your legs onto the right side of the pillow. And we have the knees one on top of the other. It's sort of similar to the deer pose that we did earlier, but this is more of a belly twist. And just lay down onto the pillow. Maybe face the head opposite of the legs. Getting a full spinal twist. Just trust that the yoga postures are doing more for you than maybe you think that they are. And the more we breathe into them, the more they have the capacity to affect different parts of the body. Slowly press yourself up. Just swap your knees over to the other side. Again, knees are stacked one on top of the other. Pillows close to the hips. And release yourself down, turning the head opposite of the legs. So the spinal twist is starting at the top of the spine, the neck, where it meets the skull, and it's going all the way down to the low mid-spine. Notice if any of your other muscles are tensing up, try to relax them. Sometimes if we're in a new position, other parts of the body try to compensate for the unknown and discomfort. Two more breaths. Good. Go ahead and press yourself up. Move the pillow out of the way. Swing the legs in front of you. And let's cross the right leg over the left leg. This is called a half shoelace. And maybe you need to untuck the tush a little bit. And I want you to just fold forward here and really relax the head down. I get a really deep stretch in the hamstring and in the back body. It also has a little bit of an IT band situation happening. My right foot is planted on the ground. And roll yourself up. Let's take a little bit of a twist so you can hook that arm, the left arm, around the right knee. Plant the right hand, twist, looking over your right shoulder. Really deep breath. And release. You can uncross the legs, shake them out a little bit, and recross on the other side. So planting the right foot down, untucking the tush, and rolling forward. This is not an active pose, so try to relax all the muscles here, especially on the exhale. Good. Roll yourself up. Go into that short twist on the other side, hooking the right elbow on the left knee, planting the left hand down and twisting over to the left. As you inhale, get taller, and as you exhale, twist deeper, beginning from the belly. And release. Let's straighten both legs in front of us. And if you would like to take a supported version of a forward fold, you can feel free, or you can just fold without it. Just put your pillow right under the belly, roll forward, and put any kind of props that you need to let all of your pieces be supported. A few more breaths here. If sitting in these postures for a long time is difficult for you, perhaps you can try to keep the mind focused by counting the breath. Maybe you count 3 in, 3 out, or whatever number feels natural for the length of your breath. One more deep breath here. And roll yourself up. Let's bring those feet into touch for your Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. And again, bring your pillow back to the middle. And let's round forward and maybe scoot your butt back so your legs are making quite a big diamond shape. Whatever is going to make you most comfortable. The feet don't need to be super close to the body. And if you can, rest the hands onto the mat so that the palms are facing up, symbolizing surrender, receptiveness. We let a lot go on the mat today, as always, creating space for something new, some new positive energy, healing energy. So just allow that to be absorbed in this pose. One more breath. And slowly roll up. And for my favorite pose in restorative yoga, we'll do legs up the wall. So if you can make your way to a wall after you see what I do, just place it low under my low back. Scoot my butt all the way up towards the wall. It's a little bit awkward getting into. And just allow myself to release backwards. You can have a couple different options here. So if you want just an upper back stretch, you can have it how I have it, or you can actually sit on a pillow. So your hips are elevated as well. This one actually feels a bit better for me. And my head still hangs off the back, so still get a nice chest opening. And once you're in this position, bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your heart. And try to breathe in to the belly so that your hands lift up. If you have any thoughts or emotions or anything kind of going on in your mind right now, try to bring the attention to the body and notice, how do those thoughts or feelings manifest in the body? Do you feel a temperature? Do you feel a texture? And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's fine too. Just relax. We're going to stay here for about another minute. So you can release the hands back down if you want, or keep them where they're at. You can begin to bring a bend into the knees and roll off of your support. Carefully, please. And super slowly, because all of the blood just rushed to the opposite side of your body, make your way back to your mat. And let's take one more twist before we go into our Shavasana. So you can do this a couple of ways. First, lay down all the way on your mat. And then you can, for the most mild version, extend your right leg forward and bring your left knee across and kind of scoot your butt over to the left a little bit so you're keeping a straight spine. If you want to go a bit further, you can bend both knees. And if you want to go even deeper, you can cross the left leg over the right. That one can be very intense. So we'll stay here for a little bit, so don't push yourself too hard. And if your knee is floating, feel free to just bring that pillow underneath. And you can look all the way to the left, open up the left arm. Roll yourself back to your center. And we'll take it on the other side. So don't forget to lift up the hips and scooch them over to the right. And then drop the knees over to the left. Turning the head towards the right. Right arm is opening. I have it in a T shape. You can do whatever's comfortable for you. One more breath. And come back to your center. If there's anything else small that you want to take before coming into Shavasana, feel free to do that. Maybe you want to massage the low back by circling the knees a little bit. And when you're ready, just extend those legs forward. Open up the arms. Make yourself super comfy. Sometimes I like to place the pillow underneath my knees. This leaves me a lot more space in my low back. Then just straighten the legs over the pillow. Doing a little bit of a body scan, just relaxing every part of the body. Releasing control of breath and just noticing how the breath is naturally